Hey, this is going to be a quick lesson about how Google Docs and Google Drive work together. So when you do create your docs, they are available within your Drive. So the Drive is the main control center for where all of your files are located. So it's like a file directory with a bunch of folders, which are actually labeled categories of where you've got your files and where they're sitting within. So you've got a listing of all of your docs, and if you go in and if you delete one of your docs, so there's a number of ways to delete docs. So within the doc itself, there's an option to move to trash. So if you select the doc and if you move it to trash, it's going to go into the Drive trash folder, and then that's where also you can recover any files that you might have. So let's go ahead and move it into the trash. And it gives you a warning message that the file has been moved to trash, and then it asks you where you want to go next. And you can also at this point take it out of the trash. So I'm just going to go to the Google Docs home screen. And then from here, now I can go into trash and I can see this is where the document is located. So if I wanted to recover this document, I can always open it up back up and recover the document. So right now it is sitting within trash, and there's going to be a notice when I open it up that I can take it out of trash at this point. So that taking it out of trash is going to move it out of the trash, move it back into my main document area, and then I can able find and move my document around as well. So there's a number of ways to move documents around, and also just to note that the trash does get purged out every 30 days. So it will be deleted forever every 30 days. So you have 30 days to recover something that you might have put in the trash and that you want to recover at any point. So also with the docs, you have an option to move it. And then there's also the document status. So this gives you a brief information about the status. You can save it to the Drive once it's reconnected and so on. You also have an option to add a shortcut to the Drive. So this will allow you to add a shortcut to the document from your Drive. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a shortcut here. Now I can go in and I see that I've got a shortcut to the My Doc, and the My Doc and the shortcut are sitting on the same directory. So generally you wouldn't need a shortcut if it's on the same directory, but if this document was hidden in multiple folders very deep and you want it to be able, or if it's a shared resource, then you might want to add a shortcut to somewhere where you're accessing and you're easier able to find it. Also with documents, you do have the same folder options where you can click it on a Windows machine, you can right click it, or you can press Control on a Mac. So you can add stars to it. And this is a lot of the Drive functionality, but it also translates into what you have within the doc. So now that I've starred it, and I also have an option to star it within the doc itself. So when I refresh it, and now this document is starred, and I can see that I've got the star sitting on the document. And with the starred documents, that just makes it easier to find within Drive. So if I want to find any of my starred documents, I can go to where I've got the starred documents stored, and it's going to be listed there. To unstar it is really easy. To star it is easy. You don't have to go into Drive. You can do it directly within the document. Also within the Drive, you can get additional information about the document itself. So you've got the document details, and you can also see the activity of the document within the dashboard, so you can see who is updated and just a brief overview of what's been happening with the document itself. So we've got restored, we've moved it to trash, so that's what we did just recently today. So there's more information, and as well you can add descriptions, and you can also update the share permissions. So this has the same options that we saw, and it's going to pop up the same pop-up window screen that we saw earlier with the share permissions when we were directly within the document. So a lot of the functions and you've got different ways to access the same functionality. There's also an option to switch it to offline mode. So offline mode means that this document is going to be available even if you don't have an internet connection. And then when you do get an internet connection, the browser will cache the content and it will load it and connect to the live version on the Google Drive once it does connect. So there is an option to do that. And in order to do that, you need to have a Chrome browser. And then also you can go and you can select the document and move it, make it available offline. So this document is now available for offline work. So even if I don't have an internet connection, the browser, and you do need to use a Chrome browser for this to work. In order to access your documents, you do need to access it via the Chrome browser. It's not going to be available within other browsers. And that's the way that you can access documents offline. So even if you have no internet connection, you're all good to go. And I just want to note that you do need to install the extension for this to work. And then this will give you access to the documents so that you can edit, you can create new documents, view your documents offline. So it's not going to be available for PDFs. So this is only for the Google Docs itself and the Google apps that are going to be available offline with the extension. So you are going to need to have Chrome installed in order to add the Chrome extension that's going to allow you to add and work with the Google Docs offline. And you can also, with the same extension, you can use spreadsheets and presentation with no internet access. And if you want to access the documents offline as well, there's a Chrome browser extension that you can use. So this is just Docs, Google Docs offline. And I already have it installed. So you could go ahead and install this one. This is offered by Google. And this is the one that's going to allow you to use the documents offline. So you can edit, create, and view your documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. So you can use this Chrome browser extension in order to access the documents offline. And then also installing that option will give you the option where you can click it and make available offline as well. Also within the Docs itself, so you can create multiple shortcuts if you need. There's also document details. So you can select and you can see where it's located, who the owner is, when it was modified, when it was created. You can also move the document directly from the document interface, so you don't have to go over to the drive. So let's say I want to move the document and I want to place it within another folder, or if I want to create a folder, so I can create a new folder directly within the doc and select that folder. And then now the folder is empty. I have an option to create another new folder, or I can simply drop the document and move it into there. So when I go back to Drive, I can see that I've got the new folder that's been created, and there's my document that's sitting within the Drive. And typically the idea is that you don't have to leave the dock in order to do all of this stuff, even though sometimes it is easier to go ahead and open up the drive and just move it around where you want to place it. And there's also the option under File to move as well. So you can also do the same option. So this is the same pop-up window that pops up with the Move shortcut here at the top. So those are the options and the way to get to those options within the docs.